The title race is officially over. Arsenal don't win the Premier League title for the third year in a row, and once again, it is all their fault. The gap between Liverpool and Arsenal now is 11 points. Arsenal would need Liverpool to lose 4 out of their next 11 games to have a chance at this Premier League title. To give you guys some context, Liverpool have only lost 5 games in the last 78 games, and Arsenal would need them to lose 4 out of their next 11. It is so over. And if we're being honest, what were they thinking? Before the season even started, they needed a forward. They then went on to lose their best player in Bukayo Saka in December, and you'd expect them to have some smarts and actually invest in January. But no, they didn't buy a single player, and Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli both went injured right after that. And then a couple months after, Kai Havertz also went out for the rest of the season. And in their most recent game, they went with a front line of Trossard, Mikel Merino, and Ethan Nwaneri. Their only forward option off the bench was Raheem Sterling. That's how you know how desperate they are. The fact that the Kroenkes didn't even sign or even loan in a single player is outrageous. Look at Aston Villa, for example. Their attack was pretty stacked out, but they still went out and loaned in Marcus Rashford from Manchester United and Asensio from PSG. What if Arsenal loaned in Rashford? He could have been a big help in their title aspirations. Let's look at their most recent game against West Ham. West Ham are currently sat in 16th and have conceded 47 goals this season. 4 out of those 47 have come from crosses. Mikel Merino scored 2 goals against Leicester that both came off crosses. Graham Potter did his research and he knew how to deal with Merino. And it wasn't only Merino that played bad. Martin Odegaard was a disgrace. There was a moment in that game where he could have had a 2-on-1 against the defender, but instead he drifts off into the central position, leaving Trossard all by himself on the left side. He is not captain material. And the thing is, Arsenal actually had some optimism. They had a reason to fight for this game. Liverpool dropping points to Everton and Aston Villa. If Arsenal beat West Ham, they would have been 5 points behind Liverpool. And if Arsenal won their game in hand, they could have potentially been 2 points behind Liverpool. But now not winning that game has given Liverpool an 11-point gap, and even if they win that game in hand, it'll be 8 points. And that's been the story of Arsenal this entire season. Whenever Liverpool drop points, they're not there to capitalize. Let me take you guys back to December. Liverpool and Newcastle play out a 3-3 draw. Arsenal have the chance to beat Man United to close the gap back to 6 points, in which they do. But then the following game week, they draw to Fulham, giving Liverpool their points back. Liverpool then drop more points against Fulham, and Arsenal decide to drop points again against Everton. Liverpool then draw at home with Manchester United, and Arsenal also draw with Brighton. Liverpool then draw with Nottingham Forest. Arsenal play against Tottenham. They need to win this game to finally close the gap, in which they actually do. Yes, they finally capitalize on Liverpool. And then the next game week, they drop points against Aston Villa while Liverpool beat Brentford. And it happened again this week. Liverpool drop points to both Everton and Aston Villa. Arsenal can close the gap back to 5 points, but they go and lose to West Ham at home. Mind you, West Ham haven't kept a clean sheet since they played Southampton in December 26th. And questions need to be asked of Arteta. Listen, the Arsenal board are just as bad, okay? Not investing in January was absolutely criminal, but questions need to be asked about Arteta as well. This is the 3rd year that he's competing for silverware, and to not have won a single trophy is not right. The fact that they didn't buy a striker in the summer was criminal enough. Not getting a forward this window is just as bad. And listen, he's done a lot of good work with Arsenal, brought them back from the slums with Wenger, has them competing for stuff. But again, there's a difference between competing and actually winning. Arteta might have brought them back on the competing level, but they might need to get a manager that can actually win them stuff. If you bring in a new manager, he can take these players that are already there and the foundation that Arteta's built, he can take them and actually win trophies. Now the question is, who would come to Arsenal? Andoni Areola at Bournemouth has already shown what he can do. You don't need big names to actually win trophies. For example, Liverpool, when Klopp left, we went to Feyenoord and got Slot, and he's winning his first league title this season. If you go to Bournemouth and get an Andoni Areola, he might just be your guy. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Premier League title race this season. Let me know what you guys think, of course. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button if you haven't already. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the season, and I'll see you guys in the next game. Goodbye.